What up, Dokkaners? The Gogeta and the Broly units. Now that they've released and they've had their ECAs, it has been so much fun. I've been running through so many different events. Obviously, the Gogeta is the better unit, but still, it's been a lot of fun running them nonetheless. Today's video is going to be discussing something that I wish I had made sooner. Some of you might have already made your decision, which is totally fine, but I still think it's worth discussing this when we frame it in the perspective of the future. Is it worth spending your coins on these two units right now, or is it better to save? Whenever it comes to these sorts of questions, the number one thing that I always tell people is to prioritize Dokkan Festival LRs. But this Gogeta has been at the center of so many different showcases, so many different reviews. People are glowing about these characters, especially the Gogeta, that some of you might be tempted to buy them because maybe you don't have, maybe you weren't able to pull them because you did spend on the Pilaf's Trove tickets. You weren't able to pull them there. Maybe you really want the character to complete your team, Movie Heroes team, or a Movie Bosses team, whatever the case may be. You might want some of these characters for whatever reason. Is it worth spending at the cost of potentially having the means to buy a unit in the future? We're going to be discussing by comparing to some of the other major units that are slated to return sometime soon or sometime during 2023. But I will start off by saying, for those of you who did actually buy the Pilaf's Trove pack, I did mention a couple of times that it could actually be worth investing in this if you guys are moderate spenders to actually buy the Pilaf's Trove packs and maybe summon on this banner, because here you only have 3 actual TURs. So the chances of you pulling the new units or the Gogeta Broly are pretty good. So let me know in the comments if you guys actually did invest in those Pilaf's Trove packs, if you managed to pull one or both of the characters. If you guys are looking to buy an extra dupe for either one of the units, then I think the answer is a blatant no when it comes to Red Coin Shop. Don't go for a dupe, especially given the fact that these guys are not Dokkan Festival TURs. Don't do that. The only question that we're addressing here is to invest in one copy. The unit is good. The unit is a lot of fun to use, has nice abilities, but is it worth spending just for one copy just to have it? So let's discuss that. Let's go over to my little chalkboard here. So we've got the red coin characters breakdown. Always prioritize Dokkan Festival LRs. Always. These units can withstand the test of time a whole lot more. Plus, given the 200% meta power creep now, Dokkan Festival LRs are the way to go in general in terms of category coverage, in terms of their appeal, how much they can be useful in the future. Those units are generally better. 500 coins are needed to buy said Dokkan Festival LR. 400 are needed to buy a premium TUR, which are basically just like, you know, any Dokkan Festival TUR. And then 150 or 2, I don't remember if it's 150 or 200, one of the two, to buy the older EZAs. This doesn't even matter. I'm just writing it here to be thorough. 10 red coins are needed or earned for every full price 10 unit multi, which means for every 50 Dragon Stones you burn, you get 10 red coins, which means if you want to spend 2,500 stones to get 500 red coins, that's the cost. You're going to have to put in a lot of stones to be able to get those 500 red coins. Is that something that you do in a sit down, in a single sit down, or multiple? I don't know. It depends on if you're a whale or not. So just remember that when you are spending these 500 coins, just remember how much it takes to get back to the same point. Is it worth spending 400 coins right now, knowing that it's going to take you however many months, or maybe even a year, to spend this many Dragon Stones to get back? A lot of you guys who watch my videos are not whales. A lot of you guys who watch my videos are either moderate to low spenders, because why would you want to spend a lot of money, right? If you can get one copy, that's where it's at. That's what matters, right? It's only the whales, only the small percentage of players who really go above and beyond. So remember this. That's why Steve Harvey's here to let you know. 500 coins, it takes a lot. Now, let's take a look at the 5 major units that I think people are probably thinking about when it comes to buying these units in the coin shop. The Dokkan Festival LRs from the worldwide download, the Trunks and Vegeta, and then of course the superhero LRs. These are the 5 major LRs that are out there, and when they're going to be coming back will probably indicate when they're going to be available in the coin shop. This is when they are slated to return based on last year's trends, based on years prior. So if this doesn't end up happening, don't hold this against me. This is just Dokkan being stupid and trolling us, but this is how things should be playing out. So the worldwide download LRs, Cooler and the Super Saiyans, released in August and September of 2022. They are not going to be here on global until July of 2023, which is the 8-year anniversary. For those of you watching who are JP players, you are probably about to be getting these guys when you're watching this, because you guys are very close. We've already started the promotional material and stuff for the 8-year anniversary, so you guys are going to be able to pull these units through your summons or buy them in the coin shop. So lucky JP players. But global players, you're going to have to wait basically a year for these guys to come back. So use that and frame that in your mind when you're thinking about the Gogeta. If you buy the Gogeta, you're going to be down 400 coins. Are you going to be able to recoup your losses and spend this many coins by the time July 2023 rolls around? Keep in mind that the banners leading up to that point are probably not going to be the most crazy for some of you, because we already know the Kid Goku is going to be there. Bardock will be there. Yamcha will be there. There will be a Golden Week. There will be a Saiyan Day. There's going to be all of these different banners. Are these units that you're going to be probably summoning for or spending a lot on? Meaning, between now and the 8-year anniversary, you will spend 2,500 Dragon Stones? Some of you, the answer is probably no. That's why it's worth discussing with yourself, that whole thing. Moving on now to the Trunks and Vegeta. These guys released in late November of 2022. They have a quick turnaround and they will likely be coming back in March of 2023. This is based on how things played out 2 years ago, because last year, Tech KFC was the Dokkan Festival TUR who released in the same time slot as the Vegeta and Trunks. They released December 2nd. So right here, this is when KFC showed up. KFC then returned inexplicably during the Golden Week celebration. And that's weird because the Golden Week banners, it's a dual Dokkan Festival banner. And on these banners, the KFC does not have a counter unit. There is no other unit that corresponds to it. So if we look here, we got Cell, we got Pycon, we got Exchange Boo, then we got Gohan, Janemba, and Gotenks. That makes sense. They have counter units. The KFC doesn't have a counter unit, but she still released, or they are still released during the Golden Week banner. So that is one possible release, but it doesn't make sense because the only Dokkan Festival LR in the bunch is this. And so they'll probably have some sort of an older worldwide download character LR here. They can't have another Dokkan Festival LR in the same time slot, which is why the more likely scenario of the LR coming back, the Trunks and Vegeta coming back, is going to be Saiyan Day. Because we look at the 2020 year, the same time slot was the LR Blue Dudes. They released during early December of 2020. Then the following year during Saiyan Day, which is right here in March of 2021, that is when Broly was the Dokkan Festival TUR. In the featured list, we had the LR Blue Dudes. So this is where most people are expecting the Trunks and Vegeta to come back, which is March 2023. Most of you are probably in the boat where you wanted to get this guy, but you couldn't afford to spend because the banner was bad. You were saving for Superhero and you had your hopes high for the Superhero celebration. So you didn't summon on this banner and you probably didn't get them during the Christmas banner. This is how long you're going to have to wait. So as of right now, probably about 2 months until the Trunks and Vegeta comes back. That is going to be definitely worthwhile in terms of spending your red coins. So I would prioritize this over the Gogeta, no questions asked. Then looking at the superhero characters, we got Gohan and we got Piccolo. Obviously, out of the two, the Piccolo is the better unit, but still both released in January of 2023. I know they released December 27th, but we're just going to go ahead and call this January, the New Year banner. So there are 2 possible release dates for the New Year units to come back. Now, this is a little bit unusual, a little bit wonky, so work with me here. These guys sort of fit into 2 categories. One is the Dokkan Festival Super Vegeta from last year. The other one is the Super Saiyan 3 Goku and Kid Buu that released for JP's New Year last year. So let's take a look at both. For the Super Vegeta, this was the singular Dokkan Festival TUR that released during the new year. This unit made its return during the Golden Week celebration. So about 5 months later, the Dokkan Festival Vegeta came back. So if we look here, remember how I said the Tech KFC was 1 unit, and then the counter unit was this guy. So the Super Vegeta came back along with, ironically, the other unit that released at the same time that we were discussing, the Tech KFC. These guys released during the Golden Week celebration. That's weird because they don't have a counter unit. But here, these 2 units do have a counter. Piccolo, Gohan, Gohan, Piccolo. They have to be on competing banners. So in terms of the banner itself, this does make sense because they're 2 different banners. Instead of having the worldwide download LRs being maybe the only ones, maybe they throw on the New Year's LRs as well. So this could realistically be a good spot for these guys to come back, realistically. But when it comes to superhero, things have been very wonky in terms of their releases. The Gammas have yet to come back. Maybe the Gammas take their spot, and maybe these guys get pushed back even further. So in all honesty, this is maybe not going to be when they release, but perhaps it is. Maybe both come back during Golden Week. And then post Saiyan Day is the only other option, because if we look at how the Super Saiyan 3 Goku and Kid Buu were last year's New Year's for JP, Global only ended up getting these guys in March going into April. So this is also kind of a weak argument because I'm really only just dedicating a time slot to their return. But there would have to be some sort of a dual Dokkan Festival celebration at this time to warrant 2 units releasing on competing banners. And based on the schedule that's coming up, that's not going to be happening because Yamcha's not a dual Dokkan Festival. Bardock's not a dual Dokkan Festival. There's not going to be a dual Dokkan Festival coming up. So I don't think it's going to be in this time slot that they come back. I feel like Golden Week is probably the most logical place for them to return. But then again, we also got the Gammas to worry about. So if you want to consider the Gammas as well, I feel like they are more likely to return during Golden Week as opposed to the Ultimate Gohan and the Piccolo. And then, of course, there's always the question of, is there going to be another installment of the Superhero Celebration? Where is the real Beast Gohan going to be emerging? Are they going to be showing up somewhere in the middle of all this and ruining our schedule even further? So there are so many questions out there. for all these different LRs. But at the very least, the one that you do want, the Trunks and Vegeta, should be back in about 2 months. So I feel like if you guys are trying to prioritize between Gogeta and something coming up down the road, the answer is simple: save for the Dokkan Festival LRs. But still, it is worth discussing. So if you guys need to take more time to consider all this, you know, pause the video at this part just to see when these units are coming back and really decide for yourself, is it worth spending on the Gogeta to have a nice flashy new unit, but not have enough to buy some of these great LRs in the future? Could be worth discussing. My answer is no, unless of course you're a whale or you have a ton of coins to spare. That's going to be it, guys. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, be sure to leave a like down below. Let me know in the comments, which Dokkan Festival LR are you most focused on in terms of spending your coins whenever they come back? Which one is it if you had to pick one? And are you someone who managed to pull a Gogeta during your either Pilaf Trove summons, or if you managed to spend some stones on the banner, did you happen to pull one? Do you think one is enough for your Gogeta, or do you want more? Let me know in the comments down below. Also, be sure to subscribe for more Dokkan content in the future and click the notification bell so that you let you know when I see more fun stuff. Do it! Thanks again. Stay tuned and remember to Dokkan responsibly.